Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So, if Sydney Powell ever loses her license to practice law, I was just thinking she might have a really great career ahead of her as a fictional writer. Yeah, she might give the Harry Potter author a run for her money because she's pretty good. She's pretty good at fiction. I mean, she kind of steals things like the Kraken, but I think she could come up with some pretty good stuff on her own. So here's why I'm saying this. Powell is alleged in multiple so-called voter fraud court filings that she has this super secret spy witness who knows for a fact that the voting systems in the US were, quote, certainly compromised by rogue actors such as Iran and China. And Powell, up until just recently, has refused to provide the identity of her 007, referring to him in documents only as Spider, spelled with a Y, and identifying this person as a military intelligence expert. Well, after one of Powell's idiot team members failed to redact Spider's name, his true identity was revealed. And it turns out that Spider-Man is a 43-year-old information technology consultant named Joshua Merritt. So Merritt's declaration to the court, however, stated that he was trained in intelligence, that he was trained at the 305th Military Intelligence Battalion Unit. Now, a spokesperson for the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence, which includes that 305th Battalion, it's a woman named Meredith Mingledorf. She said that, quote, he kept washing out of courses. He's not an intelligence analyst. So according to Mingledorf, Merritt never completed even their entry-level training course, and he kept dropping out of various in-person and online classes. So the Washington Post asked Merritt about this discrepancy, and he insists that he graduated from intelligence training. However, he conceded to the journalist that he was only a trainee and that he was only in training for 7 months. Oh, and also it was like 15 years ago. So this guy never worked as an intelligence officer. So how could he possibly be considered an expert? Now, Merritt, to his credit, I will say, agreed that the way he's described in the declaration submitted in court are misleading and that it should have noted that he was a student and not an intelligence expert. He also admitted that he didn't take the time to carefully inspect the declaration prior to signing it. And he provided documents to the Washington Post, which show that he spent 10 years in the Army, which the majority of his time was spent as a wheeled vehicle mechanic. He was also deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, where he told them that he worked in security and route clearance. But they did confirm that he held the rank of specialist, and he did receive numerous commendations when he was honorably discharged in 2013. So for the record, Merritt says that he's not a Republican or a Democrat. Rather, he considers himself to be a constitutionalist who just wants to ensure fair elections. He said, quote, right now you're looking at two political parties that all they care about is power. They don't care about people. I swore my life to my Constitution, and that's what I keep it at. So, yeah, he'll get no argument from me about that. I do believe that the vast majority of people only care about power and not the people, with the exception of the true progressives in the Democratic Party. And there's still not that many, I believe 8 or 10 at this point. So it's pretty pathetic. And then you got Bernie in the Senate. But other than that, yeah, everybody's about power. So Merritt has now removed himself from Powell's legal efforts, and when the Washington Post reached out to Powell for comment on this issue, they received this really BS kind of cover your ass text from her. It said, quote, I cannot confirm that Joshua Merritt is even Spider. Strongly encourage you not to print. If we made a mistake, we will correct it. If we made a mistake, are you freaking kidding me? This woman has ginned up fear, distrust, threats of civil war and violent acts against public and even private figures. And she thinks that simply correcting an error in a document is sufficient. I mean, yeah, sure, people are receiving death threats against themselves, their spouses, their children, even their pets. But, if we made a mistake, my bad. And of course, we're undermining democracy and causing a rift in society that may never mend, giving our foreign enemies the ability to perfectly exploit our lies for their own benefit. But, to err is human, right? Oh my God, the damage these people are doing. And they don't even have the decency to investigate their own witnesses. And are Newsmax and OAN going to admit to their viewers that some of the information that they relied on to form their so-called election fraud views didn't actually come from an intelligence expert? Of course not. So the damage is done. And as always with the media, on both sides, I will say, nothing is corrected. Nothing is updated in the public sphere. Nobody comes forward and says, hey, we got this wrong and we need to tell you. So people just continue to propagate these false stories. People are out there unknowingly citing sources who lack expertise. They're citing sources who are essentially just guessing or making statements based on conjecture and theory. When the history books are written, this will be in it. Things like this will be written in the history books because they will say, how did we get here? And they're going to look at stuff like this and they're going to blame people like Sydney Powell. I mean, Trump will be at the top of the list, but these other people who went along with him and helped to perpetuate these lies will be right there with him. All right, guys. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching and listening. I'll talk with you soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.